What's up, guys? I realized while editing the following footage that I didn't do a very good job of explaining this car and what my goal is with this vehicle. So this channel is my first attempt at making YouTube videos and editing video, but I have a goal to take this car and turn it into a track vehicle. So what I've done is bought an RX8, because in the racing world a lot of people tell you Miata is always the answer. It's always the answer unless you're 6'3", you don't want a convertible, and you need extra space to be able to put all the parts that you're going to break at the track. So I bought an RX8. It's $1,000 with a not very good running engine. And we're going to be changing all that out, gutting the interior, putting on a racing suspension, increasing the braking power, putting on lighter wheels, better tires, and upgrading the aerodynamics to make it work better on the track. And what I'm going to do through these videos is show you how to do that on an RX8, but you can also apply to these techniques to any other car. And I'm going to show you how to get started racing as well, whether that's autocross or out on a road course. Because I know for me, it's been very difficult to figure out how to do that, where to get started, what's the first step. And so if you're interested in actually going from playing video games and to racing your actual car on the track, just follow along and I'll show you what you need to do to go out there and race on a road course. Okay, for the first step, what we're gonna do is just start stripping out the interior. I don't really have a game plan yet. We're gonna be taking out the door panels and we're gonna be taking out the seats, possibly the center console, glove box, eventually the dash. I don't know if we'll get to all that in this video, but we'll try. So here goes. Back seat, you have a bolt here and a bolt down here, if you can see that. I believe all we've got to do is take these out and then the top of the seat should pop off. I've already removed the centerpiece here, just pops out, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the rear seat belt as well, because we don't need that. Alright, just as I suspected, as soon as we unbolted the bottom, top part just pops right out. Alright, next thing we're going to do is remove this bar that runs along each side of the vehicle. This bar, all this does is it's an anchor point for the front passengers seat belt here. So we just need to remove this bolt here and this bolt here. We'll be able to disconnect it from the main part of the vehicle. Alright, so now that piece is off. We're not going to need this again because we'll be putting in a roll cage with some racing harnesses on the front racing seats, and of course we're not going to have back seats because I don't need 3 passengers on a racetrack. So to not waste your time, I'm going to go ahead and repeat everything on the passenger side that we've done on this side. So removing the front seat, the back seat, and then the sidebar for the seatbelt over here. And then we'll pick up pulling off the door panels on each side and probably removing the center console. All right, so now I've got most of the interior, well, at least all the seats and some of the seat belts in the rear taking out the floor mats, and I've actually found $4.78 so far. So now I'm at $1,045.22 into this car. There's a lot of crap down here on the carpet, and even though we're taking the carpet out, I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum it out really quick. That way I don't have all this stuff kicking up, breathing it in. There's also some pieces of glass from where there's definitely been a side impact. Pro tip, wear gloves when you're cleaning out a used car. I have found the most ridiculous stuff inside cars, really dirty stuff. It's just a good idea to wear gloves. Just do it. We're gonna start with the door sills here. And all you do with these is just pull up on them. And they should just pop right up out of their clips. And then repeat that for the other side. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is start working on the center console. That way once that's out, we can pull the entire carpet out, see what we have to work with under there. I'm sure there's sound deadening, and we'll do a whole episode on using dry ice to tear up that sound deadening and pull that out, lose some additional weight. And then we'll move on to the door panels. Probably won't be able to get to the door panels today. So let's start with the console and see where we get. So we're going to unscrew the shift knob. Alright, once that's done, slide the boot up over. And then just pop this front piece right up and out. I'm going to leave the shift knob in here. Alright, I apologize up front for the audio. I've got a neighbor that's mowing their lawn and a lot of cars driving by right now. So please bear with me. Once we get a garage, we'll be able to get rid of this bad audio. But what we're going to do is go ahead and move on to the door panel. So what I'm going to show you are the 3 bolts that are needed to be removed in order to get the door panels off on an RX8. So the first panel screw is right up here behind the door handle. You just got to pry that little plastic cap off. And then there's a screw behind there. And then further down, it's hard to see, but right here is another screw that you can access under here with a Phillips head. And then we're going to be able to pop this whole piece off, which you do with the interior prying tool, or you can use a flathead screwdriver and pop that off. And then you'll be able to get to this Phillips head up here. And that's all that you need to do before prying the rest of the door panel off, just with pry tools. I'll probably just use a flathead screwdriver because I don't really care about the paint underneath, so I'll be taking care of all that later. So let's get on to doing that. All right, so what we're gonna do is remove this cap and the screw beneath it, the screw underneath here, pull this panel out, and then remove the screw that's behind there. All right, and I was wrong here. The screw is here, not here. we previously removed the stereo speaker as well. So now that we got these screws out, the only thing holding it in should just be some pop clips like the Christmas tree fasteners. Like I said, since I don't care about the paint, I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver. If you do care about your paint, you probably want to use the interior trim pullers. But we're going to pop these all off, and then it should just pop up and out. All right, so now we're on the back door. Shouldn't be too hard. I haven't actually looked into how this is gonna happen, but the bottom is already kind of dangling, so it's probably been off before. We're gonna take off this seat belt. There's a cap here by the rear door handle, and it looks like that this bottom piece is separate from the top. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off, and then we'll see what we need to do to take the top plastic off. So there were two other screws right below the handle. You pop the cap off and then pull them off. All right, so there's a trick to these airbag wires. There's a little black cap on the back here, and what you're gonna do is just get underneath it and pop it up, and as soon as that's all the way up, it releases the locks on there, and then you're set. So that's the back door. So we've got the front door and the back door done. I'm just going to repeat that on the right side, and then we're going to get to the dash. All right, guys, I've got the passenger side off, as you can see there, and so what I'm going to do is go ahead and take the driver's side airbag out, and all you have to do, again, I apologize for the audio. I've got neighbors working on their lawn. Hopefully you can hear this. You've got a cap over here and the same thing on the other side over here. You just pop those off, and then there should be screws underneath here, and then the whole airbag will come out from there. Alright, so now that I got the bolts out, I previously said screws, it's actually bolts. They're 10mm bolts, one on each side. Once you have those out, the airbag should just come out like that. And then you've got these two plugs on the back, and you're going to do the same thing that you did with the pre-tensioners on the seat belts. Just pop this little cap up on each one of them. Now, I've already disconnected the battery before doing any of this work, but if you're doing any airbag work, make sure that you disconnect the battery first. You don't want one accidentally going off. So once those are pulled up, these little black clips, these should just pop out, and that's it. Airbag out.
Take it easy.